Hello, 2019. Hello YouTubers, my name is Charlie and this is my channel, Dad Bod to Fab Bod. This is my first video in about 6 months and it's been a while. I've lost some pounds, gained some muscle, and I've got a whole new perspective about doing things. Last year, let's just say I got caught up in the rat race. I was trying to perfect my videos way too much. I was looking at other YouTube influencers and seeing how perfect their format was. And in doing so, I really got overwhelmed by their approach. And little did I know, they've got their own video editors, whereas pretty much I'm doing this all on my own. And so this year, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna approach it from kind of a vlog perspective. I want to put more of my feeling into this because I'm really enthusiastic about where I'm going, where I've come from, and I really want to share it with you guys. It's been a really fun journey, a really long journey, and it's really not quite over yet. So like I said, I'm really going to be more relaxed in my approach to delivering my videos to you guys. Hopefully you'll watch it and enjoy it and get something out of it. But my first notion to share with you guys this year is one thing that I learned last year. I started this in March and I just kept pounding away at eating better, at exercising, at basically having a really positive attitude toward doing things every day. And that's kind of the notion I want to bring to you here, is that consistency really is the biggest key to going where I want to go, to achieving my goals of gaining muscle, of burning fat. And you can't really do that unless you do things on a very consistent basis. Let me go back to my example of brushing teeth. You were pretty much brought up when you were a kid to brush your teeth every day, twice a day. And after the course of doing it, you start to develop that habit. Well, with doing this, in March, I pretty much focused on hitting the gym every day. I would take a rest day here and there, but my goal was to at least set aside 1 hour every day so I could hit the gym. Not only would I hit the gym or do some exercise at home or be active somewhere, I would also make it a point to be healthier in my nutritional and eating habits. I would clean up my act. I would get rid of all the bad foods, the processed foods. And my menus pretty much transformed themselves from fast foods and frozen dinners and stuff that I really didn't know what was in them, to we started performing food subscriptions. And these food subscriptions, like HelloFresh, they really taught us not only how to cook, but also how to eat clean and how to eat a really well portioned meal. And we would do this every day, and to the point where after about a few months, this kind of became a habit, to the point where if I didn't work out or if I didn't eat clean that day, I kind of felt a little weird. I got so used to setting aside that 1 hour to go to the gym, or eating very clean in regards to healthy fruits, healthy vegetables, lean meats, etc., that if I ate something, like I ate some fast food, or if I just was a little lazy that day and I didn't hit the gym, I felt like there was something missing in me. Well, like I said, I preach consistency, and this is something I did every day, well, starting in March last year, every day, pretty much all the way through to the new year. And as the year ended, I kind of started thinking about what I wanted to do for 2019. And I preached, you got to make little goals, and also you got to make big goals on top of that little goal. Little goals will build itself up to achieving that really large goal. Well, last year I made a really goal for myself to be consistent in eating healthy and be consistent in working out. However, my goal really was kind of, vague. I just wanted to maintain higher levels of energy because, I have a 2-year-old kid, and he has a bottomless pit of energy, and he just runs circles around me. And now I'm at that point where I'm starting to maintain pace with him, but really, that's not a goal. Like, he's growing and I'm growing, but what goal can I really measure out to, so I can, so there's really something I can chase after in 2019. I'm going to get to that goal in a minute, but first I just want to kind of go through a couple of the roadblocks people experience when they want to maintain some type of consistency. First of all, when they want to, it's New Year's resolution time. They want to improve themselves. They want to hit the gym. They want to hit the ground running. And sometimes this could be a problem because they get really strict on their new regimen, their new pattern of living. They cut out all the bad shit that they used to eat back in the prior year. And, they stick to everything is steamed, nothing is fried, drink only water, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're not really used to that. And, on the flip side, they would go to the gym. They're going to hit, the gym 3 hours a day. And, lo and behold, I feel sorry for, the poor bastard who goes in and does that. And then about, 2 or 3 days, they're going to experience the worst soreness that they've ever experienced, perhaps in their entire lives. And this can actually be counterintuitive to what they want to do because, if you hit such an extreme life shift, you're not going to want to go back when, life pretty much rebounds and punches you in the face. You're going to get, these massive cravings and, they say sugar is a drug. Well, once you quit sugar, you start to get these, I don't want to say the sugar sweats, but you get this slight little fever because you're missing that one component, that little bit of pleasure that gets you through your day. Like say you quit coffee. I drink coffee every day. I drink it with, a little stevia in the morning, but, those people who just they go from their cream and their sugars and all of a sudden they go to black coffee and, it just doesn't taste right. And at the same time, it's just not giving them that, that satiation, that fulfillment that they once got, with their full-blown vanilla lattes. Now, on one side of the coin, you have those who just are ridiculously strict with their new diet, their new workout scheme. Then you have the other side who they just kind of go and relax. I've seen those guys at the gym. I try not to judge people based upon, how intense they are when it comes to working out. They may have some type of injury. They may, be wanting to start off really slow and then just work their way up. But there are some of these people who they just go in there and, and they just casually go through their routine. I've seen really large guys and, they're really trying their hardest to burn the fat or put on some muscle. And, I'm looking over at them and I'm thinking, I know that you can lift a little more than that. They're immediately running toward the 15, 10, 5-pound dumbbells and, and they're curling and they're pressing about, 30, maybe 40 times. And that's kind of not the idea when you want to, burn. Well, there is this weird notion where, if you do a whole bunch of reps at the same time, you're going to burn fat rather than build the muscle. And if you think about that, you're going to lose weight, which, that's kind of not what you want to do. At least from my approach. And my approach I'll eventually get into later on. But I don't think this is the right way. And I think that there are better methods and much more, what's that word? Maximize their potential when it comes to building muscle and burning fat. Now, like I said before, I'm going to come at this from a really relaxed state of mind. A lot of people A lot of my coworkers ask me how I shed 60 pounds last year. And it was really easy to tell them, well, they would ask me, did you do the keto diet? What did you do? And, and I would tell them, well, I did a whole lot of things. I did a little bit of keto. I did a little bit of intermittent fasting. I went to the gym. I was very, very regular at the gym. But when it all came down to it, when you think about all the different methods that I did, I was maintaining some type of consistency on performing something that would improve my physicality. I would eat better every day. I would skip those birthday donuts that would go, at random cubicles. I'm like, hey, you get the birthday email. It's like, hey, come by yada, yada, yada's desk, and we've got some awesome breakfast for you. And here's some donuts. And you had to practice a lot of discipline. But at the same time, I kept telling myself that for every donut I don't eat now, that's, a couple of steps ahead that I'm going to get. And, I kind of equate my mission to climbing a mountain, like for every workout I do, for every clean meal that I eat, that's one step closer to the top of the mountain. And, mountains can't be climbed. You just can't get up one morning and just say, hey, I'm going to go climb Mount Everest or whatever. And, you've got all these 90-day programs that are out there, which are great. But there is this weird misnomer that, I'm going to start this 90-day program and I've got this big old belly. But at the end of those 90 days, I'm going to have rock hard abs. And that's not really how it works. At least it's not the healthy way how it works. And it's not done without, some cosmetic surgery and some really ridiculous links of starvation that I just don't even want to imagine. However, what those programs do, I'm not knocking those programs because, I've actually participated in them myself and failed, like a lot of us have. However, one of those things that those programs do is that they pretty much set the foundation of performing some type of function every day. It builds yourself up to the point where you are developing a habit into doing something every day. Again, I started last March and I told myself that I'm going to do this every day. And it is an enormous challenge to say right now, it's in the very beginning of January. I'm going to do this every day all the way until 2020. Well, there's 360 some odd days left. But if you take it step by step, little by little, just tell yourself, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to eat clean. Today's Monday, for example, I'm going to do it all the way till Sunday or all the way until Saturday and then have some type of cheat meal or cheat day in the middle, whatever. However, I'm going to do this every day. And what I do is I have a calendar at work. I X off every day. I did it last year and I'm starting to do it again this year. I'm a little bit more detailed in regards to how I'm going to symbol or, I don't know what that's called, how I'm going to cross out every day. But I'm going to be that so I can track myself, a little more meticulously than I did last year. So anyway, like I was saying, I wanted to set myself a goal this year, something, again, that I can count, something that I can put on, pen and paper or, iPad notes or whatever, where I can say that I measured it out and I made a goal that I was going to perform said, miles or set reps or set whatever, where I can come back to this video later and just see how far I've come. I can come back to this video, the day after Christmas and say, hey, I did this. And now to detail out what I'm going to do, my goal, and I did some math on this and that. I watched a lot of guys out there, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of YouTube influencers who, they seem to have the answer when it comes to building muscle, burning fat, etc., etc. Overall, I just want to improve my body to make it look the best it has ever looked in its entire lifetime. I'm in my mid-30s, and yes, whatever you want to call it, midlife crisis, whatever. I think I've never been this focused in regards to chasing a goal this hard ever, and I'm hitting the ground running. And I said before, you know, you probably shouldn't do that. But after about 10 months of doing that, and after about, you know, coming across several people in my gyms, I would go up to the most impressive guy in the gym. I'd be working the weights, or, you know, and I would be in the middle of resting between sets, and I would notice this guy. I'm like, man, that guy won. He has got to do this professionally, because there's no way he looks, you know, he's completely cut. His stridations are crazy, and he's lifting plates like nobody's business. And I would approach him, you know, I would wait till the right moment would occur, you know, when he's resting, not in the middle of, you know, him grunting through, you know, a PG attempt or whatever. And I would, you know, I'd find that opening. I'd say, hey, you know, like, let me ask you a question. How long would it take for me to get from where I'm standing to where you are? You know, he'd be sitting on the squat machine or whatever. And they would always laugh. You know, those guys, they're really, really nice guys. They're not, you know, meatheads like, you know, some other gyms or whatever. I work out at a 24-hour fitness at various locations. So I'm fortunate that where I go, the guys, the gentlemen there are really, really nice. Anyway, so I would ask them, and they would always, you know, they would look me up and down a little bit, and she's like, oh, you're doing a great job. And I would ask them again, I was like, hey, how long would it take for me? How long have you been doing this? Not, you know, not how long it would take me, but how long have you been doing this? And they just tell me straight up that, you know, it's not, I've never heard the term 90 days. I've never heard them say, oh, I've been doing this a few months. I've heard years. And, you know, it kind of put in my head that this is not just, what I'm attempting to do is not just a fad. Like, this is a lifestyle change that I'm attempting to do. This is a journey, you know, like the first video that I put out there, you know, like, I'm going on a journey. I'm trying to bring people with me. That would be great. And I actually got a couple of people at my work who were kind of interested in seeing my my workout routine. And in doing so, like I said, you know, long story longer, my goal this year is, like I said, I've done the math, and talking with YouTube, listening to YouTube experts and influencers, they said the most optimum rep count when you're performing reps, obviously you want to do it to failure. But for building muscle, you want to do it between, you know, 6 to 8 reps. And I started thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I can do that, you know, and like I started, you know, counting in my head, and I'm like, okay, how much time do I have? Because I work out at lunchtime, you know, I have about, you know, 45 minutes, 55 minutes, plus I got a shower, etc. And so I'm like, okay, I can probably squeeze in, if I just get in and I get my business done and get out, I can get in about 8, you know, good exercises in, especially when I'm pushing and my intensity is as high as I can possibly make it without dying, of course. And so when I did all the math, and if you do 8 exercises a day, 3 sets a day, 8 reps per set, that equates to about a little over 70,000 reps for the course of the year if you do it every day. Well, I was telling myself, well, that's the par. That is what is kind of expected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim a little above that. I'm going for, my goal this year in 2019 is to go for 75,000 reps. You heard it from me. I'm going for 75,000 reps. I've never done this before. You know, I've seen the videos where like, hey, you get up in the morning and you do 100 push-ups. What is it going to look like? Well, I mean, that's pretty kick-ass, and it's actually admirable. I wish I could do that. But I want to see what I can do if I just, like, I've set myself a really, really high number. And I know what you're asking. Like, well, you said you're going to do 8 reps per exercise. How are you going to equate that? Well, on the weekends, I think I could allot myself a little more time, and, you know, put a couple of more reps into my forte. And as well, you know, I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna put you know, hit, and I'm gonna put hurt, and I'm gonna fill those in on what those are, you know, throughout the course of the year. I'm gonna have some more informational videos throughout the course of the year. But as you can see, I'm very, very excited for what 2019 is going to bring. I don't know what it is going to bring yet, but I know that all the strides that I made last year, over the holidays, that tends to get hung up because you get a little loose. You're like, oh, okay, well, I can have a little more turkey here, and I don't really have to count my macros there. And it almost takes a New Year's resolution to, set the arrow and set your focus and reset everything, and I've not been this focused ever before in my life, and I look up to a whole bunch of athletes and bodybuilders and all these YouTube influencers, and I want to be a YouTube influencer too, and I hope to influence you, and I hope you can watch me on my journey, because this is going to be fun. I'm going to try to take a little more time in putting my videos and a little less time in trying to perfect these videos, and just come straight from the heart, just to let you know how things are going. And I'm going to find someplace also to publicly put out my workout routine, so you can follow me, you can make fun of me, you can do whatever. We're going to have some fun in 2019. Let's do this. Again, my name is Charlie, Dad Bod to Fab Bod. Dad Bod is still kind of here, but Fab Bod is coming, and I'm promising that, is January 15th today. Yeah, I just got paid. January 15th today. December 15th, we're going to, I would love to do a shirt unveiling, whatever. But, I don't want to scare you now. However, let's do that. How about that? And December 15th, I'm going to, show you the goods, whatever. But anyway, this is my channel, and I hope you watched it and enjoyed it, and I'm going to come back for more. Later.